Hi, welcome back to week 2 of the 4-week intensive confidence currency course. I'm Tiffany, I'm the creator of the course, and I'm glad that you're with me today. I know last week was probably a pretty informative week, maybe not the easiest of weeks as you really review what was your history in terms of trying to make changes to your health. But I'm sure that you've started to see that there are some things that were really necessary for you to uncover and become aware of as you begin your journey of walking into your health goals and seeing those realized and walking in victory in that. So this week, there's going to be some similarities because we're going to continue to uncover what are the habits, what are the beliefs that you have, but instead of looking at your history, we're going to fast forward to right now. Because most likely, where you're at right now, even though there might be some similarities to where you've been, there are probably some differences too. You've learned some things, right? If I had taken this course, a year ago, I would have been in a place where I needed to lose about 15 or 20 pounds because I had just had, 2 babies back to back. But that's a very different place than if I had taken this course 10 years ago, right? Where I needed to lose 200 pounds and I had no experience or knowledge in the areas of fitness or weight loss. And so, yeah, it's very valuable to know where you've been, but it's also extremely valuable to get a clear, realistic look at where are you today. And that might not be the easiest thing for you to do because we can be pretty self-deceiving creatures. And I think as you're walking through some of these exercises, you might come to see that things are worse than you anticipated, or maybe you haven't stepped on a scale in forever and you're like dreading actually seeing what that number is, or actually seeing what is it that you're really eating, or what is it that you're really doing with your time. But even though these are hard things to walk through, they're so necessary, and they can just be, the beginning of your success story. This can be rock bottom, and you can only go up from here. And believe me, people all the time will tell me, man, I really wished I had taken pictures of when I first started my journey, or I really wish that I had journaled when I first started my journey to see where was my mind at, where was I really when I began. So even though this can be hard, it's necessary, and this can be the beginning of your success story. So I encourage you to think about it like that. Don't let anything that you are, realizing from last week or this week discourage you. Just simply let it inform you. It's information that you need to know in order to encounter transformation. And so it's going to be good. And we're not just going to be looking at, the hard facts. We're also this week, you're going to be receiving what should you actually do with these hard facts. What should you do once you've uncovered all of these, hard pieces of information and incorrect beliefs and all of this kind of yucky crap? What are you supposed to do with that so that you can actually make a change in the future? So hang with me, because at the end of this week, you're going to be receiving a lot of those tools and beginning to put those into practice. So here we go. We're going to begin with really getting a good grasp of where are you today. And of course, that takes using some questions. So I'm going to walk you through a series of questions that are going to help you get a full picture of really where are you right now today. You'll find this in your coursework materials. Make sure that you have printed those out because you're going to need to use them for the rest of the intensive. So we're going to start with question number 1. Where is your body at numerically? Now, I include this word numerically, because it's just a number, right? Like your weight is just a number, but it's still a number. It's still information. You are not your weight, right? But it is important. And you're going to see as we continue to go through the intensive that I am not a proponent of weighing yourself on a scale normally, and we'll get to that in week 3. But I do think that it's a really good idea at the very beginning of your journey to take measurement, take stock, just so that you know where you're beginning. So where is your body at numerically? You can answer this by getting on a scale and seeing how many pounds your body weighs. You can do some measurements with a tape measurement. You can do your waist and legs and, different things, but get an idea of an honest look of where is your body at numerically. Like I said, I'm not a big proponent of the scale. I don't use the scale right now in my life, but I'm glad that I did when I first started my journey. I'm glad that I know that I started out weighing 352 pounds, because even though that was a really hard number for me to see at the time, it's been really great for me to look back and say, wow, look at where I was. I'm not just saying, oh, I was really big, but I don't know. I know exactly where I've started. So even though it can be challenging, find out where are you exactly today. And remember, this is just the beginning of your success story. It's only going to get better from here. Question number 2. What are some words that you would use to describe how you feel about your body right now? Again, not thinking about the past, not thinking about how your body looked great at one time or, really bad at one time, but right now, what words would you use to describe how you feel about your body? Do you feel disgusting? Do you feel strong? Do you feel average? What are the words that come to your mind when you think about your body right now? Question 3. In what ways are you currently being held back by your weight? The answer to this question is going to be very different for everyone because we're all in different places in life. But think about it. What would you do? What would you attempt? How would you behave differently if you did not weigh or your body wasn't how it is right now? I remember, for me at different times in my life, I thought, well, if I wasn't overweight, then I would want to hike a mountain, right? Or I would want to travel the world, but not have to use a seatbelt extender or have to be worried about what is my plane ride? How uncomfortable is this plane ride going to be? Or I'd want to go on roller coaster rides that I wasn't able to go on because I was afraid that the lap bar wasn't going to fit down all the way. Or maybe you would actually pursue dating, or maybe you would chase your kids or your grandkids. In what ways is your weight holding you back right now? Number 4, in what ways do you think feeling more comfortable and confident in your body would change your life? So this is kind of the converse of that question, but it's getting you to put your mind in thinking, how would your life be different? What would you start to do? Maybe you would go after that career that you've always had in mind. Maybe you would make a change to what you do on a weekly basis or how you spend your evenings. What are the things that you would pursue if your weight was different and you felt more comfortable and confident? Maybe you would pursue being a physical trainer. I don't know. Everyone's different, but what are the things that you would pursue if you felt more comfortable and confident in your body? Maybe it's you would speak up more in meetings or volunteer for things at your children's school. Whatever that is, write it down. Number 5. In the last week, how many times have you intentionally exercised? Now, I'm not saying we went to the zoo and man, I'm sure I walked 2 miles, so that's exercise. No, I mean intentionally exercise. The times that you've said, okay, I'm going to allot this amount of time and I'm going to do this physical activity for the purpose of moving my body. Think about it. In the last week, how many times have you intentionally exercised? Next. What would you honestly say that you believe about your ability to exercise consistently? Whenever you hear the phrase, maybe, you need to exercise consistently, you need to build this into your routine every week, what are the things that come to mind about that? What do you really believe about your ability to exercise right now? Do you feel like, I just feel like my body is not in the place that it can handle exercise? Or maybe I believe that, I just don't have the knowledge, I don't have the resources to exercise, or I don't have the confidence to exercise. What are the thoughts that come to your mind whenever you are told, let's start to begin exercise, building that into your weekly schedule? What are those beliefs that you have about your ability to exercise? Number 7, what reasons do you currently use for not prioritizing fitness? Maybe you just feel like I don't have the time. Maybe you feel like I, have tried before and I failed. What are your reasons for not currently prioritizing it? Is it a matter of your job or your kids or your spouse? What is getting in the way from you prioritizing it in your life? Number 8, how does working out in front of other people or wearing workout clothes in public make you feel? So imagine yourself putting on those leggings, putting on that sports bra, or putting on, a tight-fitting t-shirt for men and getting out there. Do you have any sort of adverse feelings to being in workout clothes? How does that make you feel? Maybe picture yourself, walking into a gym or something like that in workout clothes. What are those thoughts? What are those feelings that would arise? So as you go through these questions and we're shifting your mindset to where you're at right now and taking a full evaluation, here's something I want to say. Be honest. Be honest with yourself. Be 100% real. I can't tell you the number of times that someone has come to me asking for help. And as I'm asking them, well, what are your habits right now? What are you eating? How are you, spending your time? I can't tell you how many times people will say things like this to me. I just don't understand. I mean, I don't overeat. Like, I barely eat anything. I actually forget to eat all the time. Or I am very active. I almost like never sit down. They'll tell me these sort of things, and they truly feel puzzled as to why they're in the place that they're at, because they actually believe that they are working out, or exercising all the time. They actually believe that they're not overeating. And the funny thing is, when I actually have them start to track what they're doing physically and track what they're eating nutritionally, then the truth comes out. And then they're really able to see, oh, I guess things aren't exactly what I thought they were. So when I'm asking you to answer these questions, I really want to encourage you to be honest. Truthfully, you're not fooling anyone, including me, about your answers to these. Everyone can see the reality of where you're at. So if you're not being honest, the only person that you're really fooling is yourself. You don't have to share your answers to these questions with anyone if you don't want to. I'm not going to see them unless you're, part of our collective. So just be honest. Even though it's hard, be honest. And in the upcoming weeks, maybe, you are being honest, but you're just, kind of deceived, honestly. In the upcoming week, I'm going to be giving you some tools where you're going to begin to track these things, and the honesty is going to come out at that point, like it or not, right? So take the time to fill these things out, be honest. This week, we're going to get a crystal clear picture of where you're at, so that in weeks 3 and 4, you really understand the battle that you're in. You have a clear picture of where you're at, and you are only going to continue to move closer to your goals.